Have you ever wondered about the old leadership versus management debate? Have you ever wondered if there was a missing element that would solve this kind of quandary? Hello, my name is Trevor McAlpine, and I'm from Synergetic Management. And I'd like to thank you for coming to this video and spending a few minutes watching it. I know there's plenty you could be doing with your time right now. This video, Leadership versus Management, the missing coaching competency, is only going to be a few minutes, and I'm not going to repeat everything in the article. You can read that on your own. What you will learn today, though, is how the leadership versus management false dichotomy is exactly the kind of problem, that long-standing, difficult, intractable problem that permits, or invites, I should say, the use of creativity to resolve it. If you have challenges in your organization that are persistent, that are durable, that will not resolve and will not go away, you may be the candidate for that kind of problem solving. You will also learn how the coaching competency mixed with leadership and management provide a synergy that is a better picture of reality and much more effective when you look at making organizational changes and improvements. Let me explain. Leadership versus management has been around for a long time. That debate has no seemingly quick solution. Management has tended to be stuck in the realm of things. Now, the things may be tangible physical assets, such as doing an inventory count, making sure everyone's there on time. Or there may be intangible assets. Those could be your patents, your company reputation. Whatever it is, whether it's dealing with budgets or whether it's dealing with the quote-unquote intangibles in terms of goodwill on a balance sheet, those are essentially open to management rules, generally more hard and fast with right and wrong answers. They tend to be labeled under the big category of things. Leadership, in contrast, deals with setting direction, strategic decisioning, motivating, inspiring towards goals. But because leadership deals with something that affects people, everyone tends to assume that all people-related issues dump into leadership. So you've heard things like how I was a leader on my team and helped them move forward and I helped them find answers, or I was a leader on my team and we resolved this problem. There may have been leadership associated, yes. But I believe what they were really talking about was a coaching competency. The third element that helps explain what's missing between leadership and management. We'll leave leadership to look at the direction, setting paradigms, changing paradigms, merging paradigms together, especially if two companies or two organizations are merging. That requires leadership and direction setting. It's a very, very distinct set of competencies. But when it comes to one-on-one interactions, one-on-few interactions like a team, sometimes even one-on-many when there is difficult times and the challenges in the organization and there's grumblings on the floor, that is a different set of competencies aside from leadership. And to call it leadership is to do leadership a disservice, because you can't make leadership infinitely large. But it has to do with coaching. Now, I'm not talking about the Lou Gossett Jr., I'm going to coach you until you get it right, when he was acting an officer and a gentleman as a sergeant, drill sergeant, to work on a whole bunch of new recruits. That's very directive coaching. The same for sports coaching. I'm talking about non-directive coaching, which permits the creativity of those being coached to come out, permits them to solve their own challenges and problems, where the coach, in this case whether it's a professional coach, a real, true, hired from the outside coach, or a manager, or sometimes even a coworker, can sit down and reflect back what that person is feeling, what they're seeing and understanding of the challenges around them, and permit them to get a better picture of where they really stand. And as you do that, this is the incredible part, you permit them to be creative without even using the word creative. So you don't even have to bring that word up, but they start solving their own challenges and problems. I mean, sure, you can bring in expert knowledge if it's necessary. Don't say no to that. But so many solutions actually are to be found on the shop floor if it affects those on the shop floor. I've seen it countless times over more than a decade of interventions in organizations as diverse from sawmills all the way through to nuclear power plants. The answer is to be found there, but it's not obvious. And if you do the right things, you can get the answer to pop out very quickly. And it's effective, it addresses the challenges, and any problems in implementation can be resolved with the same kind of creative process. In the article, I also talk about leadership trust. Have you ever wondered about the trust gap between leaders and those below them? As we call them, executives, let's just say, and those below them. And the funny thing is, executives get exasperated that those below them don't always believe them, when they themselves, when they were going up through the ranks, didn't always believe what was being told to them. The missing gap there, the trust gap, gets resolved when coaching techniques are applied properly and the paradigm gets instilled throughout the organization. I trust you to make good decisions. I trust you to be able to solve this on your own. I'm willing to spend the time and energy to help you solve this on your own. Now, there's a whole discussion about the kind of problems and the best ways to do it and how to implement it, and there's a million things we can talk about. I won't take the time here. You just need to know one thing. If you add non-directive coaching with the eye to understanding how creativity actually is used in a rigorous problem-solving process, those two permit you to have a group competency I call coaching, which is very synergetic with leadership and management. And as you develop it, magic happens throughout the organization. But it's not magic. It's just permitting those around you to do their job that much better. And then you can focus the organization in the direction it needs to go. Present problems as challenges. Invite the solutions to come from all levels where they need to. And I can guarantee you, you will be stunned at the level of success, the speed at which it happens, and the longevity of the process. Give us a call. You'll see what I mean. In the meantime, take care, and I'll see you on the next video blog.
Most managers intend to get out of their office and go spend some time with the people who are doing the real work in the distribution center or, clients or whatever the heck it is. And yet what typically happens in the course of a day is a human resources problem comes up, or plant breaks down, or a computer system goes down. And so you spend the day in critical meetings, and they are critical meetings, and that's what the hell you get your paycheck for. But at the end of the day, you still haven't been out of your office. You've spent your time with people you've known for 20 years, sitting around the small circle, talking about this, that, and the other. One person who has incredibly disciplined himself on the other side, and I think it's one of the reasons his institution has done as well as they have, is Howard Schultz, the Starbucks founder. Big company, lots of statistics, lots of executives, lots of bureaucracy, no matter how hard he may try to eliminate it. But Schultz insists to himself, and apparently pulls it off almost all the time, that he will personally, physically visit a minimum of 25 Starbucks shops per week. And that is just stunning. And then I asked him, I was at some little event where he was, the only time I've ever met him, and I asked him about it, and he said, look, I don't care whether we got 3, 13, or 13,000 shops. The reality of the business is one Starbucks employee selling 1 cup of coffee to 1 customer. And unless, despite all the statistics that pour across my desk, unless I can feel it and taste it and smell it and touch it, that is that fundamental human interaction, I ain't in touch with what's going on in the world. And God bless you, Howard, and I hope you can keep doing it.
Welcome to the Sequel Guide to the National Quality Framework. This is a video series for parents and families of children who attend early childhood or school-age care services. In this episode, we look at the leadership and management of your child's service, which is covered in Quality Area 7 of the National Quality Standard. Effective leadership is important in children's education and care services because it helps to create a positive environment for educators and clear goals for the learning and development of children. When they are supported by effective leaders, educators can work together to provide the best possible learning and development opportunities for your child. This applies whether your child attends long day care, family day care, preschool, kindergarten or outside school hours care. This quality area has a few goals. The first is that your child's service has a positive culture and a professional community of educators dedicated to learning. This means the service will set high expectations for the quality of education and care and high expectations for children as learners. The educational program and practices at your child's service must be developed by a suitably qualified and experienced educator. Your child's service is also required to make every effort to keep educators in their regular roles because this supports your child's learning and development. All educators and staff must be screened by the service and found to be fit and proper persons, including through police checks. The second goal of this quality area is to achieve continuous improvement. There is an ongoing cycle of planning and review at your child's service, and the service will be regularly assessed by external reviewers. Each service has a quality improvement plan, which guides its work in lifting the quality of education and care. Your child's service will also have a statement of philosophy to guide its operations. The statement of philosophy is developed by the service, and the work of educators and other staff should reflect the philosophy at all times. If you haven't seen the statement of philosophy for your child's service, ask for a copy. The final goal of this quality area is that your child's service will be well managed. Good management includes maintaining the confidentiality of records and having a process in place to deal with grievances and complaints. If you complain to the service about any aspect of its program or practices, your complaint should be taken seriously, investigated fairly, and documented by the service. Here are some examples of what you should see at your child's service. A sense of pride and cohesion among educators and staff, the same educators working in your child's group over a sustained period, policies and procedures available for families to read, and a constructive and quick response to complaints. If you'd like to know more about how this quality area is being implemented, talk to your child's educators.